Hello and welcome to a new video. Of course, today we're going to take a look at Breaking Swipe Steelix in the Open Great League, but honestly, we kind of have to talk right now. We now got the confirmation for all the energy costs, basically, for the upcoming season, for the new moves that got buffed. And it's wild in a bad thing. It's really bad, to be fair. So, what do we have? Basically, one of the moves where a lot of people were like, so hoping that's going to be like a Snarl clone, or even better what I said, which it had to be, like it had to be better than a Snarl clone. Astonish here, of course. Astonish did not get a Snarl clone. It also didn't get 14 energy, did get 15 energy. No, it got 11. With this, it's going to be a clone of Charge Beam. Name one Pokemon that's currently viable anywhere that is using Charge Beam, please. I don't know anyone either, and Astonish not going to be better than this. So forget every Pokemon that has Astonish and really thinking, oh, maybe it's going to be now way better. No, at least if Niantic doesn't change those stats, it's going to be maybe different or whatever. Like, if they're going to change it, I hope they change it. Please, Niantic, please change those stats. It is ridiculous. So, Astonish, completely garbage. You cannot use this move at all. Please don't even try out your Pokemon with Astonish. Not working. Will not work. Will never work. It's not going to be fine at all. A horrible fast move right now. I don't even know why they announced the buff for it, because it literally does not make a single difference there. Next one, we're going to go for like the little bit easier ones. Next one going to be Aerial Ace. I got leaked already prior that's most likely going to be 35 energy. Turns out it's 40 energy, which I think is the better move anyway. Not going to make the craziest difference then for most Pokemon, but it's going to be faster to get to, which is going to benefit especially something like Mandibuzz or the Mantine. So it's totally fine in my opinion. 40 is also better for the metagame, making it not too strong. For if it was 35 energy, it would be basically a Weather Ball clone as a flying type move. So I feel like 40 is fine for this one. Next one, going to be Boom Burst. 75 energy, very high energy move. Does of course a lot of damage, but can never be super effective and only is on horrible Pokemon. Gets to 70 energy. Yes, it's going to be better than before, but honestly, the difference it's going to make is basically zero. Next one going to be Exeter, which we already basically expected to be 40 energy, and it's going to be 40 energy, all fine. Skytech from 45 to 50, all fine. Dig is going from 80 energy to 50 energy, which I predicted in my videos as well. Makes the most amount of sense. Anything else would have been very bad for it. So Dig at 50 energy, going to be a very decent move, especially on Gligar, which we're most likely going to take a look at on my channel, of course, eventually as well. But now we're gonna go to the one move update, which literally does not make sense, and I really have to hope that they're going to change it. And this is going to be Spark. Spark went from 8 to 7. And now a lot of people think like, oh yeah, no, you need one more fast move for Surf, you need one more fast move for the Thunderbolt. But you also do 2 more damage with Spark. And what this basically does now right now, in the one-shot scenario, Lanturn wins 70% of the matchups in the Great League. So, thanks Niantic for buffing Lanturn even further, a Pokemon that was insanely annoying the last 3 seasons, where we didn't really have the best answers for in general. And yeah, we're going to make it even stronger. This Pokemon would be insanely balanced, like really good still and usable, if you just gave it 6 energy instead of 7. But like this, we're going to have now basically Bullet Punch clone, which is not as great. Usually Bullet Punch, because you're going to see it on like Metagross, where it's definitely usable by far, but not the best move in general. The issue is just that electric type is a very good offensive move in the current meta, as there are a lot of flying type Pokemon around, and also a lot of water type Pokemon around. But the other issue is just that Lanturn has an insane stat product with insanely strong charge moves. So, for example, with like Bullet Punch on the Metagross, you have cheapest charge move going to be 50 energy Media Mesh, which is a very strong move, don't get me wrong. But now you have 40 energy Surf, which is a very strong move as well. As well as you're going to have Thunderbolt, and as well you're going to have a ton of bulk, a great typing. This Pokemon is completely busted. Expect to see Lanturn and basically every team, basically the best Pokemon in the Great League right now. And I just don't really get it. Like, honestly, I was so excited to see those buffs and nerfs for the upcoming season. And then we have Astonish, which they basically make like, oh yeah, we're going to get Astonish, finally another ghost-typed fast move that's going to work out so well. And they make it a Charge Beam clone. literally unusable, and they're going to buff Lanturn for the upcoming season. So feel free, go ahead, play your Lanturn, going to be very strong. Most likely going to destroy this team as well. If you don't want to be as weak against Lanturn, by the way, just use the Sableye in the lead here. I expected to see Lanturn a little bit gone with this team, that's why I didn't really expect this one. I built this prior already. And so yeah, Lanturn going to be insanely strong. We're mostly going to take a look at this one as well then, eventually, maybe even this night still. But honestly, I just don't get it. Like, why? Like, literally, why? Why would you do this? It doesn't make sense. The rest is okay. Like, Boom Burst, I would have rather appreciated 65 energy for this move because it's already bad and is not going to be way better with this one. Still completely unusable, especially as the only real Boom Burst user where it would have made sense to run Boom Burst on, which would be the Exploud, which is the only normal type that learns it and the only Pokemon that actually has a moveset for it, kind of free. It would have Astonish as a fast move, but if you have Astonish as a horrible Charge Beam clone, there is no reason to ever use Boom Burst on any other Pokemon. Why would you run Boom Burst on a Flygon which has Earth Power or now even Scorching Sands as well? Why? Like, it doesn't make sense. Of course, Exeter, honestly, is actually also more of a nerf of Exeter, which is kind of wild. Yes, you do 20 more damage, you need 5 more energy. The only Pokemon that really gets kinda buffed from the Exeter buff, or like from the Exeter change here, is going to be Golisopod, because you're going to need only 5 fast move to get to this one, because it's the only one that runs Shadow Claw. Usually you see something like Scissor, which runs Bullet Punch as well, which is going to generate 7 energy, just like Spark now does. Which then needs an extra fast move to get to the extra Exeter, and while it does more damage then, you kind of squishy with a lot of bug types, and you a lot of times just don't have the time to have this extra fast move. So Exeter is not even really a buff. Skytech is the only actual real nerf this season, because Skytech getting, like, needing 5 more energy is definitely going to impact the meta quite a lot, so you're going to see way less Noctowl for sure. But the rest is just, like, I just don't get it. So yeah, this was basically my rant that I already wanted to talk about, as we now have all the move updates in the code. We can talk a little bit about Steelix here, as we're going to have a team that's definitely very strong, definitely worked out fairly well for me as well. But yeah, of course, it's going to be now early season. Still, this team definitely can struggle a little bit against the Zumrel. Here's, I think, our only loss with this team, spoiler alert, against the Umbreon here right now, because we were just too weak. I honestly didn't also pay too much attention to the battles while I was playing them, because I was ranting too much about the move update, which was happening at the same time. So, sorry about this one. We're mostly going to take a look at Steelix several amount of times during this season still, so like it's not going to be the biggest issue here. But I just want to kind of talk a little bit about the current move changes, because I don't feel it is right. I feel it's so bad, sadly. And I was so excited for the season. Like, there was so much going on, which I was like, yeah, that's going to be so cool. And honestly, just the Astonish being completely garbage and completely no reason to... Oh, actually, I didn't go to 11. It went to 10 energy. I think I said 11 before. That's because I'm looking at PvPoke, posting it right now. No, it only got 1 plus energy. I forgot about this one. Like, that was even a mistake for me. It's even worse than I most likely said before, because I'm looking at PvPoke set right now, but they did not... put them correctly down there. It's only 10 energy for Astonish, so it's really bad. It's literally horrific. It's not usable at all. Please don't use it. It is so sad though, like, I just really wish it would be decent, but like, sadly, Niantic does not want to have Astonish as a good move at all, so... Honestly, I'm lost for words. It's so bad. Astonish literally didn't get a single buff really with this one. It needed such a huge buff. Like, it needed +4 or +5 energy in order to have at least a little bit of play, and it got +1. It's like, literally just doesn't do any different there. But yeah, we're going to have here, by the way, the longest matchup, I think, of today's video, because we're going to encounter the Fairy Wind variant of the Mawile with Power Punch against our Registeel, which is just going back and forth the entire time. As we're going to have our Pelipper. Pelipper, definitely very strong in the current meta, definitely a Pokemon that I can recommend to you, but maybe not so much anymore, because now Lanturn going to take over the world, so it's going to be a little bit worse then. Here we're going to now see the opponent having their Mawile in the back, which is going to be a little bit tricky here, but we can go ahead and go for another charge move eventually, as they're going to go for the Power Punch spam. Actually, they're going to go for Play Rough now, which I don't care about, because I have a move start anyway, and this is going to be a good game there. It was a clear win already, like 15 turns around, so like, yeah, this is going to be a very good game there. Next opponent, we're going to have an Umbreon in the lead. fairly awkward lead for us. We're going to have an ABB line here. If I can at least kind of talk you through how to play this line. Your save swap is in this team for sure, the Registeel. Registeel save swap going to allow you to beat the potential Medichamps in the back, as you're going to win the zero shield scenario, allowing you to get some debuffs, allowing you to also then farm them down with the Pelipper to try to get some energy advantage, and then try to clean up the game with the Dragon Tail plus Breaking Swipe on the Steelix. This is basically the game plan for this team. Well, I'm gonna go for Team Peter here, which I was not expecting because I thought Frost Breath was not generating energy as fast. But it's still totally fine here, as you're going to see the Umbreon coming back in. We can go for a Focus Blast, just trying to get a shield advantage against the opponent, as this is gonna get the shield from them, and we will see now the charge move coming through. Dark Pulse going to knock us out, and we have our Steelix around here right now, which is going to have a great time. I'm going to use the shield here because I was a little bit silly there and didn't go straight for my Breaking Swipe. You kind of want to go straight for Breaking Swipe if you want to decide to go for it anyway. Yes, you can try to bait like an Earthquake or something, but Breaking Swipe is just so nice to get the attack drop onto the opponent early on, so you don't take as much damage from any charge move from the opponent. Now we're going to be able to go for another Breaking Swipe here, which will not knock them out yet, but we can go for another fast move, which will be enough now. And we're going to get out of this matchup with a knockout against the Umbreon, as well as we're going to now see the final Pokemon of the opponent, which is going to be the buffed Lanturn. And we're only going to have our Steelix as well as our, what's called, the Pelipper in the back, so it's going to be a little bit of a trickier one. We see the Surf coming through here. We're going to be able to get the next Breaking Swipe off against them. Gonna get the shield at least. I'm going to try to catch a move here onto our Pelipper, which actually works out well. It's going to be the Surf here right now, so now they're going to be energy dry. They don't have a shield. We can go for the Hurricane, which is going to do a ton of damage, putting them into range where I can knock them out with another charge move or just farming them all the way down. And this is going to be a good game. Well, let's take a look at the next opponent coming up against us. So we will see the Pelipper against the Galvantula. This is a really bad for us. Horrible lead for us, and also horrible save swap for us. So we're going to now see the Deoxys defense coming in. I have to hope that I get the defense, the attack drop here, of course, as they're going to use a shield and I don't get the attack drop. And it's going to be even worse because they are running the Thunderbolt on the Deoxys, so they're going to be at least able to hit me with some neutral damage here. But I will be able to hit the Zapkin against the opponent, which going to get the attack drop onto them. And we will see here right now that we will be able to go ahead and go into our Steelix. We can take any move, it doesn't matter what they're gonna go for. Psycho Boost gonna get the, gonna get basically no damage onto us, and we will see the Lanturn coming in. Water Gun Lanturn, horrible for us, and we're going to swap out into our Pelipper. We're going to have two electric type Pokemon against our Pelipper right now, and we're still going to use our Protect Shield here. Because they're running Water Gun, we're going to be in a better matchup in the Pelipper matchup right now, as they're gonna go ahead and let the Hurricane go through, which is interesting for me, as I can go ahead and go for another charge move here, as this is gonna be interesting here. You can try to go for the full farm down with the Steelix, but they're going to be able to go for the lunge, debuffing our attack, but we can at least get a ton of energy here right now. I am forced to bait here. If I don't bait, it's going to be a tough one, but maybe I can even go for 3 Breaking Swipes, but I don't even have to, as one more Earthquake is all it takes to knock out the opponent's Lanturn. And actually, Steelix really came in clutch in this battle here, winning with only a few HP left, and we can now move on into the final battle of today's video already. I had to rant about it. Honestly, we're going to see, of course, more gameplay coming through soon on my channel, but I couldn't give up ranting on the horrific move changes that they did here, sadly. And it's so sad, like, honestly, still, I just wish it was different, because it looked so nice for the season. I was so excited. Now I see, like, how they changed it. It's, like, so disappointing, which is, I guess, a common theme with Niantic, right? I cannot really say anything about it, but getting Spark to 7 energy is... it's just ridiculous. It's honestly so bad. But yeah, we're going to now see the final matchup here of the Trevenant against us, as they're going to go for the Seed Bomb. It's going to be fine. We can go for the full farm down with our Pelipper. So we're going to see right now that we will be able to just go for a shield, farm them down. They're going to have the Seed Bomb, and we will now go ahead and go for the Hurricane here. It's going to be again the Azumarill coming in against us, as they're going to use a shield. We still should be able to reach another Hurricane right now, and I will be able to go for another charge move here. It's going to do a ton of damage, but we're still going to be forced to shield up this move, as Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe is not going to do enough damage against the Azumarill at all. So I'm going to go for the Weather Ball. This should knock them out, but it actually doesn't. I could have went for one more fast move as well, which I didn't, which was my own mistake, but I will be able to swap onto our Steelix, take the Ice Beam, and we will see the Sableye coming in. And this is basically a prime example how strong the Breaking Swipe Steelix can be. As we see here right now, I can get the attack drop onto the opponent. The opponent is going to get solo just by our fast move alone. It's going to be the XL variant of the Sableye here, and we're going to completely destroy them with our Steelix. I hope you still enjoyed the video. Of course, it's going to be a little bit of a rant, but otherwise, still leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, check out the videos on the screen, also the top teams, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.